Hey guys, what's going on? It's Moho. I wanted to do my ScufGaming controller review, as I promised you guys. I know it took a little bit of while for me to actually get this video out for you guys, but that was only because I wanted to really test this controller and really just give my honest input on it. I wrote a few things down about this controller, probably about 9 things that I really cherish about it, why I like it. For those of you who don't know, I'm really picky on controllers. I don't really like the way the Xbox controller feels, and I don't like the way the PS3 controller feels, but I use them. And then I met Duncan, who is the guy from ScufGaming. He's a very great guy. You should follow him on Twitter. I'll give you his Twitter link in the bottom of the description box. I met him at MLG Orlando, and he was showing out controllers that he had. And my first immediate reaction was, oh great, you know, here comes one of these salesmen again with these controllers. But then I looked at it and I was like, you know, what is this? This looks really nice. It has PS3 joysticks on the Xbox controller. The overall look and feel of it was real clean and real nice. And I held it, and I immediately felt something on the back, and I was like, okay, you know, what is that? And it felt like paddles. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I was talking about right here. These are what I saw on the back of the controller, and I said, what the heck? What is that? And I was pushing it, and he said, those are paddles. This is probably the most unique thing about this. It has button mapping. For those of you who don't know what button mapping is, you can change out the A, B, Y, X and D-pad buttons and put them on the back of your controller. They still work, they're still functionable, but they can also be put on the back of your controller, also known as mapping. For me, for instance, if you guys don't have an understanding of what it is I have on my left one is jump, and on the right paddle is crouch and go prone. These are like made for Call of Duty shooters and just Call of Duty in general, and shooters in general. They're really good for that. If you like the crouch and whatnot. So I recommend getting this controller if you're a first-person shooter type gamer, which I'm fairly sure all of you are. I don't know who isn't. So anyway, yeah, it allows me to play default, and it allows me to drop shot. It allows me to do whatever. It allows me to jump shoot at the same time without taking my hands or my thumbs off of the joysticks, which I found extremely amazing. It's very beneficial to you as a gamer to have these paddles on the back of your controller, because not only is it there, but it's comfortable. You feel good using it. So I definitely give a thumbs up to that. That was the first thing I noticed. If you notice on the back, on the top, we have the triggers, and the triggers have these shiny metal things on them. These are known as trigger stops. Now what the trigger stops are they're little screws that plug into the back of your trigger, and when you push the trigger in, it doesn't go in all the way. It only goes into a certain point, and it stops it. So that's why they're called trigger stops. Now the reason these are put on your controller is because, if you haven't seen, there are little screws next to the triggers. Now the reason these screws are there is because you have hair trigger adjustment options for your controller. This is the most unique thing about this controller, aside from the paddles. What I mean by that is, when you buy your controller, it'll come with a little Allen key. And what you do is you take the little Allen key and you put it in and you screw it, and what it does is, while you're screwing it, it'll take your trigger and it'll either lower it and stop it here, or you can higher it to where it just comes out. So me, I already adjusted mine, so now mine is set to where I like it, and he likes to call it the sweet spot. So when you push your trigger in, it's only going half the distance it should as a normal controller. So it's fully customizable. You do whatever you want. You can add the trigger stops to it if you want. If you don't want them, it's whatever. You can take them off as well, but you have to purchase a separate Allen key in order to get it. I'm not sure the size on it right now, but just want to give you guys a little heads up that I do like it. If I were you guys and you're gonna get this controller, I would definitely get the trigger stops on it. It feels good. As you can see, one screw for the trigger hair adjustment sticks out farther than the other. That's because I set it to where I like it. The left trigger is pushed in more than the right trigger. It's just, I don't know, it's just more comforting for me when I use it. Another thing for this controller is I took the rumble packs out. The rumble packs is, you know, when you shoot, it vibrates. I took those out, and my controller is extremely lightweight. I don't know a comparison. It feels like holding a piece of loose leaf paper in your hand. It's extremely lightweight. The texture on it is kind of like a bowling ball. It's really smooth. A lot of people are like, well, I don't like that smooth, grip, because it just doesn't feel right. Well, the reason ScufGaming gets their name is because they have a grip on the back of the controller that's kind of like a rough grip, rubberized grip, which I love. You probably won't be able to tell, but it is a really good feeling. It has a really good amount of grip on it, and it feels really good. It feels really natural. It feels nothing like any other controller. I personally got the PS3 joysticks on there because I just think it feels a lot better on the Xbox controller. They are not really the PS3 joysticks. They're their own custom made. ScufGaming makes them, so they stick out a little bit more than your average joystick, but not a lot. Not like a Control Freak. It's just right. Everything about this controller is really nice. I haven't found any. The only flaw to it is it's kind of like switching your settings on your controller. If you play default and you switch to tactical, you're gonna keep pushing the buttons that you used to push on default. Once you get used to this controller, you're gonna love it. It's amazing. That was the only thing bad I found out about the controller, but in reality, it's not really bad because you get used to it. I give the controller, out of a 10, I'd give it a 9.7, just because of the fact that you did have to get used to it. Other than that, this is the controller I'm in love with. This is what I'm using. They will be making PS3 versions as well. We just gotta wait for the word on if it's gonna be MLG for PS3 next year or not. Oh yeah, just in case I almost forget, they also have a feature on this controller. It's called no slow turn. What no slow turn is some controllers turn right faster than they do going left, or they look up faster than they do going down. Some of those reasons why it causes that is it's defective, it's wear and tear, whatever the case may be. That controller that you will use somewhere along your lines of that life of that controller, it's going to have slow turn to it. This controller here is guaranteed not to have it. Slow and turn also means that when you look up and down and left and right, there's going to be a little slow turn to it, or when you look right, there's a little bit of slow turn. This controller does not have that whatsoever. So when I used it, I was like, wow, when I play on 3 sensitivity myself, and playing with the no slow turn makes me feel like I'm playing on 6. So I play on 2, and it makes me feel like I'm playing on like 4 or 3. That's just my opinion. You guys can try it for yourself and tell me what you think of it, but I like it. I think it feels really good. I think that no slow turn feature is really amazing. I think no other controller is doing that right now. I didn't even know you could do that. So that's definitely good for this controller. Another thing is it comes with a nice little case like this right here. It comes with a nice little case for you guys. It zips, it opens up, and you put it in. That's what it looks like. And I like it. I like it a lot. That pretty much sums up this review. Like I said, you guys have to try it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of everybody else's. So many other people, a lot of the pros now that I talk to are using it, such as TP and whatnot. And if I haven't stressed this in the beginning of the video, I'll stress it now. It is allowed to be used in MLG. It's approved, I should say, in almost everything. Overseas, if you're in Europe and you have your leagues, it's approved. If you play in the United States, it's approved in MLG. That is a fact. I know a lot of people were like, it can't be because MLG is making their own controller. It is. He was there talking, and he was, it is approved. He had to go through Sundance. So yeah, you're not wasting your money if you're a competitive player. If you like a controller that's suitable for you and you want to customize it the way you want to customize it, this is it. This is your controller. So go ahead and pick this up. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or just anything regarding this controller or ScufGaming, or even myself, leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you guys. Definitely follow Duncan at ScufGaming Controllers. I'll put his Twitter in the description box. And you guys have been great. I hope you guys like my review. Please like, favorite, and subscribe if you like funny videos and whatnot. So this is Moho. Y'all been great. Peace.